Hello, and thank you for joining us here on another edition of Free to Become Me channel. We want to thank first our subscribers that have joined recently and all our followers that have been following us from day one. We thank you for joining us again today on another edition. Well, let's get right into it. It's been kind of rainy in Belize for the last 2 weeks. Not kind of rainy. It's been raining like every day now. Not all day every day, but every day we'd get some rain. As long as it's raining, some kind of rain every day, it still adds up and builds up where, I can't get outside as much as I want to and do stuff. Currently it's still kind of, it is wet. There's puddles here and there, as you can see in the background on the property. And today, I was thinking, I've been looking at certain trees on the property that I do want to cut down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my chainsaw. I have not used it in at least a year, so it's just been sitting. So I want to give it a clean. So I'm just going to go through the process of cleaning my chainsaw, how to clean a chainsaw before you get ready to use it again. So join me, come along with me on the ride. Right. A few things we got to get, starting with the chainsaw, and we got to find a good spot to clean it. My chainsaw is, I don't know, it looks a little junky in here, but trust me, it has everything I need in here. It's usable, and I put them to good use. All these tools and everything is needed. I know it might look junky, but I guess I could tie it up a little, but it's not too bad. A lot of stuff is suitcases and other stuff like that, but everything gets used in here. That's our solar power and all that stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the chainsaw. I gotta find a spot where I can get it and put it to clean it. I'm gonna need some rags and a brush and stuff like that. It's sitting all the way down at the bottom down there. It's been sitting back there for over a year, so let's get it out and set it up somewhere. If I could do it in here, that'll be good, or I'm gonna have to find somewhere outside where I can set up and get it cleaned. All right. Okay, so let's first open this up and see what we're gonna find on the inside. Hopefully, I don't think nothing can actually be, hidden in here. Any kind of pests or anything, because this thing is pretty tight. And okay, we just got our nothing that looks scary or anything. Open the flap and take it out. Let's see what we got here. All right. Ooh, it's dirty. I haven't used it in a while. I can see. Wow, the last time I used it, I should have cleaned it. Because this sucker here, when I say dirty, look at that. Look how dirty that looks. Y'all see that? Boy, does it need a clean. It need a cleaning like yesterday. Take the cover off the blade. It's a 16-inch blade. Wow. This sucker needs a good clean. Look at all that gunk on there. So this is going to be very dirty. First thing I did was put down a nice towel here to catch a lot of this stuff. So the tension on here is pretty tight, so we're going to loosen that up. First, we're going to loosen up these bolts a little bit. We're going to back off on the tension. We're going to turn. There's a little screw slot right here. We're going to turn it backwards to ease up on the tension. Then we're going to go ahead and take these bolts off, take the blade off and the chain off, and then we're just going to clean everything on the inside. First, we got to take our brake off. I'm going to release the brake, make sure it goes forward like that. So it is forward. So we're good on the releasing of the brake. All right, so let me get some tools. Actually, it should come with a tool in here already. Yep, there goes my tool in there. That comes with it. Okay, this is my safety tip, which I took off the last time I was cutting this tree because the tree was huge. And the safety tip was just in the way, so I took it off so I can get deeper into the bark of the tree. Thought I was needed. So we got some lube oil. We got a couple cloths. I got some chain oil in case we need some, put some in there when we're done. We'll add some more chain oil and so forth. So let's gonna unscrew these two. We're gonna loosen these two up, and then we're gonna release the tension on the chain. See how tight the tension is? I'm gonna release that tension. So let's start there. All right. Okay. So I took the loosened both bolts. I loosened them up first, and then I turned the tensioner backwards so it can give me a little more play with the chain. Now we're just gonna take this off and place this to the side. Wow, look at all that gook. When you look real close on there, you see all that oil, extra oil and stuff that's in there. And all that gook in there, all that gook. See all that gook? We got to clean all that out till it looks nice and spanky and new. So we got some work to do. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to take this outside because that's a lot of gook. I'd rather clean that out outside. So I think we're going to take this outside because that's a lot of gook to clean. Now we're going to do this one piece at a time. First, I'm going to take the dry little brush I have here, and I'm going to try and just get off as much as I can just by brushing it off. One air at a time. Just going to try and get off as much of this gook as I can, and then I'm going to spray it with some of the lubricant. One piece at a time. Try and get as much. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna try with the brush first and try and get off as much of the dirt and gook as we can with just a brush. Then I'm gonna spray it with lubricant and try and get it all cleaned up. A little bit at a time. All right. Put this camera down so I'm gonna spray it and clean it off a little more. Okay. This is what I use, some multi-lube spray, that brush, and my small little paintbrush I have here. Those are ones you use in art class probably. But anyway, it's the first part. I did the easiest part first, and this is the first part of it. Now that looks like night and day. Look how clean this thing is compared to when it was dirty. I mean, this is very, very clean compared to before. This is the outer part with the handle. The rest of that stuff is kind of like burnt on. The little spots you see on there. But we got the hand. Now that we have the handle clean, now we got to tackle this. I want you all to take a good look at this chain and blade so you can see how dirty it is. See, all up in here, we got to clean all that out. All in here, all back in there, the entire rest of this thing is going to need some good cleaning. So I'm going to dust it off like I did the other part first, and I'm going to come back with the spray, let it soak, and then spray it again. Keep spraying until most of the gook can be rubbed off and just drips right off. So let's go. I'm gonna take that outside. We can do that, make that messy work outside. Okay, results are in. So I just cleaned her up. You can see how clean and spotless it is in there. All around here. The blade. And we did that before. You can see, and all I did was with a rag. I took a brush first of all, and I try to brush off all the extra dust, tree dust from off everything, and dirt and grime. And then I sprayed it, but I didn't spray inside here and by the carburetor and stuff like that. I only sprayed in here. I kept the spray right in here and in here to get all the gook off. And I wiped everything down and cleaned her up. How's she look? She look pretty good, right? Now I'm gonna slap that cover back on, tighten it back up, and then I don't know, I got some gas. I might try and fire up. I think I might have some gas, and I might not, but I'll check and see. Because the proof is only going to be in the pudding if it starts too. Alright, alright, I'll be back. Alright, that's the finished product, all cleaned up and glistening. However, y'all, you can tell, go straight around so you can see all sides of her. She's clean and ready to cut some trees. Yeah. What's crazy is if I was to show you one of the bark that I use for this, because keep in mind this is only a 16-inch blade. Now I wanted the bark, I wanted the trees that's further down the street. It was along the street when I was cutting the trees, so they can bring my power line in, because they had to add, I think it's five power poles to get to my house from further down where they stopped. And there was a huge, I mean a big tree, and it took a little technique to cut that down with this 16-inch saw, because the bark was bigger than 16 inches. I think it was more like 20, maybe 24 inches the bark was. It was huge, so you had to kind of like do one side and then kind of work the other side and work it till you get it before that sucker fell. But this chainsaw, even though it's not like, it's not like it's 10 years old or anything, I want to say it's probably about maybe 3 years old. Yeah, about 3 years old. It's done a real good job, so I recommend Ryobi, and we got this from Home Depot. Unfortunately, I don't have no gas for it, so in a future video what I'll do, I'll probably videotape me cutting down some of these trees. There's a couple of trees I want to cut down, and a part of the yard I want to clean up some more. You know what I mean? I can show you a little bit, like back in the yard back there. A lot of the trees that are on this side over here. Where's my finger? Yeah, on this side over here. I want to get rid of all that and clean all that out so it can match back there. So all of this back here, I want to clean all that up over there and take it further back so it can be even with the rest of the yard. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. We thank you once again for watching, and we do ask, if you haven't done so as yet, to please subscribe, like, share, and follow. Thank you, everyone.